I will stop, unmute you, and then we can talk it through. But it should be fairly straightforward. I'm going to show you a couple of variations of some of the foam roller or lacrosse work that we can do. But basically, this is all work to release off your ankle, kind of around your knee as well. So it's great if you're running, cycling, doing more walking than usual, or just have previous ankle injury. It's just a really good one for that. So I'm going to get started because I think we are at time now. Yeah, perfect. So basic anatomy of ankles, first of all, you probably know a bit about them, but really complex joints. They move around everywhere, really important for running, cycling, every bit of activity. Whatever happens with these guys down here will ultimately affect our knees, our hips, and our lower back. So looking after our ankles is really important. I don't know, I know James, I think you have, but have any of you ever sprained an ankle, twisted an ankle, and anything like that at all? If you ever have, you notice that it can be a little bit more vulnerable to re-spraining or having kind of injury to it again. So looking after these guys, especially if you've ever sprained or twisted your ankle, is especially important. So we're going to start with some really simple twists and turns with the ankles. So all I want you to do first of all is to do some ankle twists. So just go around clockwise and anti-clockwise. By the looks of it, yeah, cool. So I'm going to, sorry if I'm repeating myself, you did hear me say this, but I'm just going to start from the beginning of the second bit. Basically, what we're looking for with ankles is something called proprioception, which is all about how our brain communicates about ankles. When you're running or cycling, you are running or cycling, you don't have to watch your feet because automatically your brain is picking up all the signals that they have. If that signal is affected, you're more likely to then re-sprain your ankle or sprain it in the first place. So to help with this, we're going to do some exercises today to start to increase what we call proprioception, basically signaling to the ankles. So what I want you all to do is to spell your name with your feet. So I'm obviously Sophie, so I will start with my left foot and I go S, like that, O, P, and I want you to do one ankle at a time. Does that all make sense? Yeah, looks like everyone's doing it. Good. Your phone dropped, by the way.
Thank you.
It dropped out.
Oh yeah, rubbish.
You might notice that one ankle is better than the other, and make note if that's the ankle that you maybe sprained before or had any kind of twists or anything like that. Now, my left ankle is definitely worse than my right. That was also damaged on the thing. Great. I think I will have a longer name than you guys, so I've done with my left foot, so we'll start with my right foot now. Cool, you all look like you're done. Are you done, James? Yeah, cool, lovely. So, next bit, grab your foam roller or lacrosse ball, tennis ball, anything that you've got that you can use just to do some releasing of the muscles. So, we're going to be looking at a muscle called the tibialis anterior, which is our shin muscle. So if you bring up your foot like this, so everyone can see the sole of their foot, big muscle that runs along the front of your leg here, and it controls something called dorsiflexion. So again, if you're running, cycling, even swimming, walking, you're going to be using this muscle a lot. This muscle is one that's behind shin splints. It's often the one that causes any kind of frontal leg pain down to this muscle here, but it can also cause an effect to the ankle. So I'm going to use both the foam roller and the lacrosse ball. So if you do just have like a lacrosse ball or tennis ball, I will show you how to use that as well. How you want to start is we're going to start with the foam roller. So have your foam roller or lacrosse ball like this in front of you. You kind of want to step over it and leave the leg that you want to work on behind it, like this. Nice. And then you bring that leg up, so it's sitting just on top there. The main key thing, I'll kind of show you something, is that you don't want to just be straight, you kind of want to rotate it inwards like this, your whole leg.
because that will bring round the front of your shin, and that means that you can get on easier. So not like this, bring it in and rest it down. And then you kind of want to bring your weight a bit back onto your leg, and then just bring it down and work through. So I usually do a couple of just repetitions, just going up and down. But as you go down, you should find a spot that's a little bit sore, or a little bit more sort of twingy, achy. And once you find it, just work over that bit. Now, I'm quite lucky, my ankles aren't too bad, so I don't feel this one too much, but I feel it a lot more than possible. So it might be that you don't feel it so much with the foam roller, but you'll feel it a lot more intensely than possible. So I do my left leg, I rotate it in, so my toe is fully facing towards me, press it down, and then work through just like that. Obviously, the more weight you have on your shin, on the front of your leg, the more that you'll feel that as well. With a ball, so I've got a lacrosse ball, but you can use like a tennis ball, anything like this, basically. Kind of the same principle. You're going to find that squishy front part of your shin around the front here. For people that aren't sure how to find it, you look at your leg like this. This is directly down the middle. You go slightly to the outer side, and it's that big muscle that runs along there. If you're still not sure, if you bring your ankle up a couple of times, you'll feel it tense. You grab the ball, put it just on the front like this, and then I usually lift my heel off completely off the floor, and then if you were to lean into it, you feel it a lot more. So if you have really, really tight shins, the foam roller will be better for you. If you don't, but you still suffer a bit, this will definitely be the right option for you. For me, I don't really suffer too much, but I still get a really, really good pull with this, and I feel it really well in terms of the front of my shins. So what we're going to do is just spend the next minute with a tennis ball, with a foam roller, just working over it. If you find an area that's particularly more painful or more stiff, just hold it, so just lean your weight into it, and just very gently go back and forth. This is a technique called tap and floss, and it's really, really useful just to release soft muscle. I'm hoping you can all feel it in a nice, painful way, if there's such a thing. Good. Swap over if you haven't already. And remember, you're going outside of your shin, so not just directly down the middle, just very slightly to the outside. Sometimes this muscle does reverse. If you feel any pain like spreading down your shin or going into the knee or reverse, that is normal, don't worry about it. Lovely, just a few more seconds there. Okay. So, all good there? Cool. So I want you to grab a towel, tea towel, anything towel-like, and put it on the floor. I'll give you guys a couple of seconds just to grab that. And I am going to get my foot out, so sorry everyone, but needs must. So our feet are just like our hands. The only thing is that we stand on them all day rather than use them for anything more dexterous. But all the muscles and things are very similar. So our feet, apologies everyone, especially if you don't like feet, they should be able to sort of clench, unclench, and have really independent toe movement. Chris is a lot better at this than me. I'm not that great, but basically he can move each individual toe almost like fingers, and that's a good thing. That shows that you have really good foot control. To help with this, sometimes we need something that can just tell us sort of, or give us some kind of feedback to how we can move our foot better. And for that, I really like using a towel. So what I want you to do is basically scrunch and try and bring the edge of the towel underneath your foot. It's really, really hard, and you probably may not be able to do it, but the scrunching needs to be sort of like a real exaggerated thing like that. And you're really trying to bring that towel to underneath your foot. If you feel a bit of a burn or an ache in your foot, like the sole of your foot, that's completely normal, and it's a good thing. It shows that it's working. So what we'll do is just a minute on each side, just working through that exercise. If it gets all scrunched up, straighten it out and go back to it. And what you might find that you're doing is using your big toe a lot, which is fine, but try and really activate all your toes. So you find you're just mainly using the big toe, try and bring it away, bring it up, and just really try and activate those little toes. It's really hard, so don't worry if you don't get it today. But if you to go back and practice this, at least you know what you're looking for. Okay, so swap over to the other foot, if you haven't already. And this time try again. So try not to lift up your foot too much. You want to try and just keep your heel on the floor, these bits of your foot on the floor, and just really focus on using your toes and that really strong part of your foot, the sole of the foot. And what this will really help do is just build up both strength within the foot and the ankle, but also increase the proprioception, that signal to the brain to the foot. Good. Just a few more there. I'm very close to the edge of my towel, but I can't seem to just get that end in. Good. Okay. All good there? Does that all make sense? Cool, lovely. So, final bit. This is again going to be about proprioception, that signal to our brain all the way down to our feet and our ankles. We want this to be as good as possible because when we're running, we're not going to spend all that time staring at our feet because we're going to run into a tree. So this is why this is really important. Another really good way that we can help this is all about balance. So I don't know if many of you do any kind of yoga or Pilates or anything like that. But things like that or just yoga-based moves are actually really good for increasing that proprioception, that signal in the ankle. So what we're going to start with is kind of like a tree pose. I think that's what it's called in yoga anyway. But just popping one foot either below our knee or above our knee. But for most people, I just say below your knee. Just when it's an ankle exercise, you don't need to worry about being super bendy. Just below our knee is fine. And just really focus on gripping the foot and gripping the floor with your foot. So you're going to move around. You're going to go to left to right, forward and back. And your foot is naturally going to grip and ungrip and go to the left, go to the right. That is brilliant because that's your foot working. If you just did this, obviously your foot is not very strong. So this is definitely something that is a great thing if you do struggle with this one, to keep going back and doing this. The thing with the leg, just putting it there, it both counterbalances, so it's quite useful to be able to balance through the leg. But also it means that you're kind of not just holding it awkwardly, or it's not going to put any more extra pressure anywhere else. Just kind of storing it there is a really good thing. Now, if you find you're really good at this, if you close your eyes, you'll find that this will get a lot harder because that signal for our brain relies a lot on our sight. If we take that away, our brain purely has to communicate with the muscles and things in the feet, and that's when we find it a lot harder and often can't hold it fully. If you're worried about falling over but kind of want to try it, just hold something near you and then kind of hold on with one finger or one hand or two hands if you're especially worried. It's a good way to try it, but you'll still have that security that if you do fall, something's there. Okay, so onto the other foot if you haven't already. And again, you might notice that one foot is better than the other. So weirdly, my left foot is actually pretty good at this one. A really good indication for good foot control is if your little toes contract. So right below like the nail bed, if you notice that they kind of bend in, that's a really good sign that your foot is working properly. If all that control is coming from your big toe, so if your little toes are kind of bending like that, that's great. If it's all coming from that big toe, then there's an indication that you could really benefit with more work on your feet, on your intrinsic foot muscles. It helps prevent things like sprains and strains, but also just generally it's a really good basis for our body because everything comes from the feet. You're running, you're cycling, you're walking. If there's a problem in the ankle, it can cause a problem in the knee, in the hip, in the lower back, and so on. So again, just really focus, and once you've kind of got it on the other side, just close your eyes. And again, you'll find one side is easier than the other. And really, really focus and think about gripping and controlling your foot. A few more seconds here. Good. And now once that's all done, what I want you to do is just, like how we started, just some ankle rolls to finish. Should be a little bit less cracky, a little bit less stiff. Should be a little bit moving easier now. Both sides as well. Good, perfect. Lovely, so just to run through what we've done some ankle rolls, so starting getting some movement through the ankles, helping to release it off and mobilising. We've done some foot scrunches with the towel, really good for something called the intrinsic foot muscles, basically getting those feet a bit more working those muscles that help to support all the foundation of our body. We have done some foam roller and some lacrosse ball, really good things to be able to focus on working on, especially if you are a runner or are a cyclist, anything like that, walker. Doing that every day really helps to release off those tight muscles at the front, so a good one just to refer back to. And then finally, we've obviously done that standing exercise, helps to increase that proprioception, which is all about the brain communication with the feet. It's a really good one to do just every day. I think James may post this. If not, then I will post the kind of list that I do, so you can obviously practice that at home as well. And what I'm going to do is just unmute you all as well. So yeah, cool. I can hear you guys now. But yeah, any questions or all good?
That's all good. Thank you.
Okay. No worries. Have a good day, guys, and I'll see you on Wednesday.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lisa, as well.